Welcome, in front of me is a Samsung Galaxy M21 and today I'll go over a brief unboxing along with an overview of the device. So starting off, this is the box that it comes in, as you can see. Not much to it. So let's pop it open. It's a fairly cheap packaging, honestly. There we go, we have the paperwork, I assume. Let's just see what's in here. Nothing. Okay, so we got nothing in here. Interesting. Then we got the phone itself. Let's just pop it out of here. Now I already did go through the setup process of the device, so it won't be necessarily a full first look of it. Then inside we got the typical charger. Now let's see what the wattage of it is. So this one is 15 watts max, it looks like. So you're not getting any super fast charging here, just a 15 watt. And you get the typical Type A to Type C charging cable and also the normal power brick. Now one thing that I will say straight off the bat, I did experience problems with charging the device using a different charger. So I had I think it was a Huawei charger, also with the Type C cable. Charges every other phone, no problem. This one didn't want to charge a bit. It didn't even recognize it, so not sure if this is just some kind of scammy way to get you to only buy their chargers or not, or if just some kind of problem with the phone itself. But if you're having problem charging your phone with any other charger than theirs, that could be the possibility. So getting the phone itself, there we go. So you can see this is the device. So it's a 6.4 inch display, Super AMOLED, with a resolution of 1080p by 2340. So it's a fairly good display, honestly, for the budget device, I would say. Has a decent resolution. Now the screen to body ratio is 84.2, so also a decent screen size comparing to the rest of the body, and also has 403 pixels per inch. So by all means, this is a respectable display for a budget device, I would say. Then you have a camera. The front one is a 20 megapixel wide that shoots at 1080p at 30, and you can see right here is this tiny little drop. Then at the back you do have 3 additional cameras, as you can see. So the main sensor is a 48 megapixel sensor that can shoot at 4K at 30 and also 1080p at 30. So unfortunately there is no 60 frames for 1080p or any other. And yeah, the 48 megapixel wide sensor. Then you have the 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor, and also you have a 5 megapixel depth sensor. So those will be the 3 cameras that I have on the back, along with the fingerprint sensor, as you can see right here. So you don't have any kind of like side mounted fingerprint or other display. Now one thing that you can probably already see, the back, it's plastic and it's an absolute fingerprint magnet. So this thing is just terribly terrible when it comes down to fingerprints, and also doesn't really want to clean off easily. Now the color that I have right here, I believe it's called Raven Black, and there is also Midnight Blue. So there's 2 colors. And when it comes down to options of the devices, apart from the 2 colors, you also have 2 different storages. So you have the 64 gigabyte and 4 gig RAM, which I believe is what I have. Yep, there we go. You can see it right over here. And there's also a 128 gig, 6 gig version. So you get more storage and more RAM. Now the pricing of it is, at least for the cheaper one, 220 approximately euros. Now the price may vary depending when you buy it, at what time, and which variant of it. So obviously the 128 gigs with 6 gigs of RAM will be more expensive. And another thing, when it comes down to storage, it comes with a UFS 2.1, so you're gonna get a fairly decent storage speed, unlike the older devices which we're using, I believe, was like flash or something, and those were terrible speeds when you're transferring from and to the device. And last thing that I will probably add, the device comes with a 6000 milliamp battery and Android 10, which would probably sum up basically the rest of the device. And other than that, it's a fairly typical Samsung experience. You get the One UI on an Android 10, like I said. The only difference is I believe you have a headphone jack. Yep, there we go. As you can see it right here, you still have a headphone jack. So if you use those wired headphones, you can still use them on this device. And apart from that, you have the charging port right here, a microphone, and the speaker grill. Then at the top is just completely clean with a tiny little dot right there for the microphone, or not the microphone, it is a microphone, I believe, for the loudspeaker. Then on the left side, you can see there is just a SIM tray. And on the right you have the volume plus power key. And at the back, like you've seen before, you have just the cameras and the sensor, and that's about it. And yeah, now personally I'm not a biggest fan of the budget versions of Samsung, but when it comes down to it, this device isn't bad. It's working fine. The cameras are decent. You can go into a little capturing right here. So there we go. Let's pop this up as a prop and just capture something with it. See how that came out. So you can see it captures fairly detailed photos, I would say. Also keeps the quality of them decently. With other budget phones that I have tried, for instance, the red was becoming just a single blob of redness that didn't really have any texture to it and any detail, which is being grabbed fairly well. Also the resolution and the quality of it seems really good, considering this is basically how small this is. So it did fairly decent job on a photo. Now I wouldn't expect some outstanding photos from this, but what it did is actually respectable. Let's see if they have some other modes. So this is the ultra wide, as you can see. Let's see how the ultra wide does. And the video, like I said before, it shoots at 1080 or 4K. And let me see where I can change that. Rear video, there we go. So you can see 16:9, 3840 by 2160, and that's the Ultra HD. And let's go back and just capture. So right now it's recording, as you can see. Trying to see how it's gonna focus on this. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but the focusing was working a bit wonky. Just go to the the gallery app, camera, and there it is. So you can see that it has kind of struggled with focusing on the subject. It's more focusing on my hands. And it has that drastic focus where it just kind of jumps to it. It doesn't do it smoothly. But yeah, I mean, other than that, the camera, in my opinion, seems to work fairly well for the price that you pay for the device. And you have the Google Play Store, unlike some other budget devices at the moment, from Huawei, for instance. so that's a plus. But I guess that'll probably sum up the entire overview, and the device works fine, and honestly I would recommend it if you're looking for a budget device. That is, well, not the cheapest one out there, but still well, fairly respectable for the price that you pay. If you're looking for the cheapest thing you can get that still works as a smartphone and has Android 10, this probably won't be it. You can find something even cheaper than this, but I would say it is way more worth it to get this than the cheapest option. And this would conclude what I had to say about this device. So if you found this overview of the device helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.